guys, welcome back to Nature's Cadence Farm. Today we're going to be working on the DR mower again. This is an AT1 model from 1998, and I went to the DR website and I ordered up some belts from them. They're really helpful, and the website is really nice. It's interactive, has parts breakdown and everything. Super handy, and to call them up and ask questions, they are really helpful too that way. So I highly recommend, if you have questions, calling them. But these are the sizes I have, and again, there's different sizes for your serial number, so you want to make sure you get the right size. So contact them or go on their website, and I'll put a link down below to where I went, which is their website. So I've got the drive belt for the engine to transmission input, and then I've got the deck belt. This goes to the deck. So we're going to need to remove the old ones. The old ones are pretty much shot completely. They are very bad. It's kind of sad that they're in this shape, but either way, we're going to fix that. And so let's get in here and I'll show you how to get these things off of here and get the new ones on. First thing we got to do is get the old deck belt off, which is right here, and to do that we need to loosen up this spring. Now my belt is stretched a ridiculous amount, and you can see the belt is cracked. It's really bad. Yours might be a little tighter than that. There's a couple of ways to do this. You can put a piece of wire underneath it here and use it kind of like to pull it with. Mine is loose enough to get off by hand, so let's just do that. And the other side is going to kind of stay on there. So once that's loose, it takes tension off of everything. The belt, is nice and loose. So let's get you back here underneath the engine here, where the belt goes around the pulley. So underneath, I've got it, flipped over here, obviously. Underneath here, here's the belt that goes around the pulley. We're just going to roll it off of there. Seems like that did pretty good. All except for, yeah, there we go. It's kind of a little tight in there, but I think we can get it. There it goes. So just had to pop it out around that hub right there, and the nut of the pulley. All right, so that's out of the way and off. So now we can fish this back. But while we got that off and we're underneath it here, let's go ahead and get the belt off for the drive. And that's a kind of a small one. Next up is the drive belt that goes from the output of the engine to the input of the transmission over here, and it's got this tension plate that keeps the belt from flopping off the pulley, and these are 1/2-inch nuts on here, that lock nuts, nylocks, that hold that on there. So what I've got is a swivel socket extension and my ratchet, obviously. So we're just going to pop those loose. You might not have a swivel socket. You might be able to get in there. It just seemed like this one was going to be a little tight, so I went ahead and put the swivel socket on there so I could get in there and not have my hands all in the way, so you guys could see what I was doing. It's going to loosen those up. No need to take them all the way off, because this plate slides back out of the way and off of those nuts. So now we've got that loose. So over here on the input of the transmission, we've got 2 bolts here that hold the belt from falling off, and they are smaller than 1/2-inch. So let's see what size they are. I'm just gonna guess 7/16, and it is 7/16. So that's another swivel socket, but again, you don't have to have that. It's just what I had with me, so you can see what I'm doing in here, so you're not watching a bunch of big hands in the way. Alright, looks like there's a lock washer and a sleeve that stays there, so we're just going to hold on to that. Make sure we don't lose them. Get this out of the way too. These two have to be off because the belt wouldn't go around all of that. So let's get that out of there too. Alright, now we can get the belt off of there. So I'm just going to spin it off. There we go. Alright, so let's get the belt off of the output shaft of the engine and then slip it around there. That wasn't too bad. Not too good either, huh? Alright, so next up we got to put our drive belt back on. So before I do all that, I'm just going to check to make sure everything's on the up and up. Obviously this one's going to be a little bit smaller. It's not stretched nearly as bad. That one's been on there for, I know, at least 14 years, 13 years. I've never replaced it, but it's alright. So we're just going to fish it around right here where this that nut and this hub is. Slide it in there. Get it underneath of the tensioning pulley. And now we need to roll it around the input pulley of the transmission. Alright, so we've got our two little guides here. Put these back in place. Just going to start them by hand. There's one, and there was one down here somewhere. Right there. It kind of looks a little overwhelming at first, but once you get in here, it's really not that bad. Okay, those are good and tight. Next up, we're going to put the guide back on around the pulleys here. So there's two washers behind here that need to be on this side of the plate. I'm just going to try to pull those to us right there. Slide this around without pushing on those guys. Get one of them started. Just like that. Alright. Now that was a 1/2 inch nut on here. I'm going to hold it in position and tighten at the same time. And this one down here again, a little tight to get to, but I think we can do it. Alright, let's get our new deck belt installed. Now you can kind of see here we've got our old deck belt. You can see how bad it was. It was just barely hanging on. I mean, that poor little thing. Anyway, so we've got this little stabilizer bar here, and you've got a couple options. You can take it off here, take it off here. I'm going to take it off right here. So this is just a 1/2 inch wrench. I've got just a ratchet, but you can use a socket or a regular combination wrench or whatever, but that's just what I had out. So we're just going to pop that off. Now, we got to take our cable off we just put on. There we go. All right. So now our belt is free. We'll throw that over there. All right, we got a new belt here, and that's looking good. So we're just going to slide it inside of here and kind of push it through there a little bit. Kind of get it halfway close. Yeah, there we go. All right, so next up, I'm going to put our little stabilizer bar on our clutch. Put the nut back on. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then this cable needs to get hooked back on. All right, perfect. And make sure you've got the belt on that side of the pulley where the tension's going to be once it pulls it up there. Let's go put it around the pulley for the engine. Here's the pulley for the engine. Here's the new belt. Hopefully we can fish it around there. We might have to take that nut off since this one isn't all worn out like the other belt was. Let's see if we can wiggle it around there a little bit. Oh yeah. Alright, it's a little tight, but you can squeeze it around there and get it on there. There we go. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Let's go make sure the belt is around the pulley up front on the deck and go ahead and set the spring for the tensioner. Okay, you can see here the belt came off of the pulley there. So what we're going to do is try to roll it on there so it's kind of in the right place. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Alright, that's good and tight. Now next up, so what I did was I engaged the clutch down here with the manual hand clutch, and then I used the blade to help rotate that clutch around, or to rotate the pulley around to get the belt on. Alright, so next up we're gonna take our spring and our tensioning pulley, which is right here, and we're gonna hook it onto this bolt. Now this can be a little tricky, and it looks like I'm getting ready to hurt myself. So what I'm gonna do is go get a little trick that Terrell Fixes All told me. Alright, so what I've got here is a piece of wire that's bent into a loop, and what that's gonna do is allow us to hook onto that and pull it kind of remotely so we can stretch it up and around just like that. That way you don't get your fingers caught in there, and the spring has good, you know, you can clip it onto that bolt like that. So that works pretty good. Alright guys, well, we got it all back together here, and you know, so let's go ahead and fire this thing up and try these belts out, the drive belt and the deck belt. So I'm going to set my choke to choke and turn the key on to start. All right. Well, those new belts worked great. You know, I can tell already that it seems like it's engaging a lot faster than it was before. So, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.